YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to Paul's Wrath. My name is JD, and today we're here with our playthrough of Pokémon Crystal in order of the Pokédex by doing an optimized playthrough. If you didn't see my video last week, we played through with Slugma. If you don't know much about Slugma, it's kind of an atrocious Pokemon, really is. We played all the way through, we evolved and beat the game, but it took us over 2.5 hours. It's a very long time. It's one of the longest times I've ever had in Pokémon Crystal. But today we're going to be playing through fully evolved to see how much better we can do with this Pokemon, and that Pokemon is Magcargo. Look at the stats for Magcargo, and then we'll dive into the playthrough. HP is 50, attack is 50, defense is 120, special attack is 80, special defense is 80, and speed is 30. Speed being 30 is our worst stat. What do you expect? We're a slug, and we are lava, two things that are not known for moving very fast. We do have a very high defense because we add the rock typing. Now I'm going to talk about that really quick. Slugma is just fire type, so it has 3 weaknesses: ground, rock, and water. 2 times weaknesses, not the worst thing in the world. You can kind of manage it a little bit, but when we evolve into Magcargo, we add worse weaknesses and another weakness. So we are now weak to fighting. So now HiddenJim becomes a lot more convoluted. Same with Bruno. And now we're 4 times weak to ground and water rather than being 2 times weak to ground and water. We are still weak to rock, and that actually kind of confuses me. I thought the rock type would kind of cancel that out, but I guess not. We're still weak to rock type moves. But we do add some resistances, so there's some upside. Normal, flying, and poison we are now resisted to, whereas before we were just resisted to bug, fire, and ice. We actually lose the resistance to steel that we had whenever we were just fire type. So that's some things about the Pokemon. We'll talk more about this as we do the playthrough. Let's dive into the first battle of the game. It's going to be against our rival. Rival's name is Triple Question Mark, and as per tradition, we gave it a Totodile. We are fire type and rock type, so we're 4 times weak to water moves. It makes the most sense. We named our Pokemon Scorch, I believe. Is it Scorch? Yeah, Scorch. And we're going to go for Rock Throw, and we're going to 2-hit the Totodile. And that's something I want to talk about really quick, is I want to talk about this Pokemon's moveset. So on the right side of the screen, you're going to see the moves. It's actually on the left side of the screen as well, in the top left corner. We start out with Ember, Rock Throw, and Smog. Now with Slugma, we just had Smog, and Smog is god-awful. It's a 20 base power poison move. It has 70% accuracy. It does have the option to poison the opposition. However, 70% accurate, that's very bad. We had to grind so much just to get to level 8 to face our rival. And look how much faster we got to level 8 with this. We did in about 2 minutes. Ember is a great move to have early game. We are really high on the special attack side of the stat. So Ember, 40 base power, 60 with stab, very good move to have. And then Rock Throw is a great move to have with this Pokemon. Because with Slugma, we still had Rock Throw, but we were not Rock type. So we didn't have a boost on how much damage it did. It didn't have stab. But with this Pokemon, it is a Rock type, so we have stab. And it's 75 effective power with stab. It is 90% accurate, so you have to deal with that. However, it's better than Gen 1, and Gen 1's like 60% accurate. So you don't have to deal with that. That does help us in the first gym, but also our typing really doesn't help us in the first gym. We're in the medium fast growth rate, which means it's pretty good growth rate. It's not the best. Medium slow is the best growth rate for a playthrough of Pokemon Crystal. However, that is the best one. And here's the thing. This is an optimized playthrough. An optimized playthrough, we usually can add a move from our egg move set, I should say. But there's only one move to add, and that was this move, Acid Armor, and it's kind of garbage. That is not a move I want to have, and I really am not going to get too much into this, but I really think it's weird that Slugma and Grimer or Magcargo and Muck, all that, whatever, somehow they breed together and they make more Pokemon. I don't know how that works. The intricacies of that are not something I really want to get into. I just think it's funny that that happens. But we are in Faulkner's gym, and like I said, Rock Throw is great, and we're going to go ahead and take on Faulkner. Now, Faulkner is the flying gym leader, and he's going to lead out with a Pidgey. Now, downside is now we are 4 times weak to Mud Slap. So as long as we hit Rock Throw, great, awesome, one shots, good. And if we hit one more Rock Throw, we're going to win. Nope, we get hit by accuracy drop. Okay, that's not fun. We do use our berry here, but we hit Ember, it's more accurate, so we win. And look at the time difference here we have between our second optimized playthrough and our first playthrough. This is a difference of 8 minutes. Huge difference there. Now, in the optimized playthrough, we do not have to face Bellsprout Tower. We probably maybe should have, because it's going to give us some extra levels, and it would have been very easy because we have Ember, and we would have obliterated Bellsprout Tower. However, we don't. We do not need to do that. The benefit to being Slugma is we were not 4 times weak to Mud Slap, so it didn't use Mud Slap as often. It didn't see it as super effective, so it just went for Gust a lot. That's why we have a lot more health, and we didn't use our berry in the first attempt. In this one, we have an exposed weakness of being Rock type and Fire type, 4 times weak, so it went for Mud Slap a lot more. So that's why we had to consume our berry, and we actually won this 3 levels lower, so that's pretty good. However, that is the trade-off when it comes to this Pokemon. We have some benefits, but there are also some huge downsides that we have to contend with. Now we're going to, we don't want to talk to that guy. And we're going to go ahead and go right into Slowpoke Well. I don't usually show this, so I'm going to let you guys see this while I'm talking a little bit more about this Pokemon and talking a little more about this channel. So this Pokemon, we are a much lower level than we were at that point in the game. However, we do want to get to a higher level. This is not a Pokemon that you can kind of go minimum battles and win the game with. It's not like it was with Teddiursa and Ursaring, where we can probably skip over half the battles in the game that we would have done when we started out as Teddiursa. Ursaring doesn't need that. As long as we just get to a decent level, it's a powerhouse Pokemon. We're grabbing a Super Potion here. We have 2 more people, and then we can dive into our battle against the gym that is known as the Bug Gym with Bugsy in it. We have a huge advantage over Bugsy, and we actually have a huge advantage over the Rockets here too, because Zubat is a Pokemon that is weak to Rock-type moves. We did add Mud Slap, so we do have that added. It's not a great move. It goes off our physical attack stat. Ember is, like I said, our best move. Even though Rock Throw is more powerful, we have a higher special attack than we do physical attack. That's a benefit to us to continue to use special moves. This is why Hidden Power later is such a better move than using other things. But now we're going to talk to, I don't even remember this guy's name. I don't talk to him, is it? That's not Anthony, that's the Hyper over there. I don't know his name. But anyway, we're going to head into Bugs' gym. And Bugs' gym is a cakewalk. We have a lot of things here that are weak to us. We have Ember, and Ember's going to pretty much obliterate everything in this gym. The only thing that's not going to one-shot is probably Scyther. And Scyther, we could probably hit it with Rock Throw and do just as much damage. So we really have the pick of the litter when it comes to the moves. Caterpie's going down to 1, and then Weedle's going down to 1 as well. Do we one-shot the Beedrill? That is a question I don't remember the answer to. Let's see if we one-shot the Beedrill here. And yeah, let's go ahead and face this Bug Catcher, and the Weedle comes out. I actually have a surprise in my next video, which comes out on Friday, and you're going to like it. You're going to like it a lot. It looks kind of like this, but it's Generation 1, and you'll see. You'll see, and we do not one-shot. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, not a big deal. Beedrill still goes down. We take a whopping 2 damage from whatever he hit us with. And now we're going to go ahead and knock out this Paris. Not really a necessary battle. I probably could have skipped over this. But we do have a concerning battle coming up against our rival, so we need all the levels we can get before that battle. And now let's go ahead and face Bugsy. Bugsy is the bug specialist, and he leads out with a Metapod. Metapod should go down to 1 Ember. Very good. And Kakuna, nope. Scyther comes out next. Ember, it looks like it's going to be a 2-shot with Scyther. It really has nothing you can do against us. It's just a foregone conclusion. And then Kakuna is a 1-shot with Ember. Very good. We get a very easy win over Bugsy now. Our Bugsy split. Look at that. We're looking at about just under 10 minutes, about 9 minutes split right there. So very good. We're having a pretty good time. We're pacing very well with this Pokemon. Really huge benefit starting out with these moves, because starting out with Ember and Rock Throw really cuts out a lot of the early game training. And that's really much where the gap is right now. But now we're going to go ahead and face our second rival battle of the game. It's usually the most complicated rival battle, because not a lot of Pokemon have a way to deal with either Ghastly or sometimes their rival. But Rock Throw is a 1-shot on the Ghastly. Very good. We did outspeed there. That's one of the benefits to being at the level we're at. And we're going for Mud Slap on Crocodile. The reason why we're going for Mud Slap is it lowers accuracy. And that will make it so he can't hit us. Look how much damage he does. So he does a lot of damage to us. Water Gun is not a very good move, but it still does a lot of damage to us. And we one-shot the Zubat, which is very good, and move right on the Goldenrod. Goldenrod City is a great place to run some errands. You can get a bike, you can get a radio card, you can go buy some vitamins. You can go all the way up to Union Park as well and go talk to this lady, and she'll give us the Quick Claw, or as my guy Squidgy would say, the Quickie C. The Quickie C gives us the ability to go first, and gives us that ability at a 23% clip. In future generations, it is 20%, but in this game it is 23%, which is very useful later in the game. It's not very useful right now, but it will come in clutch later in this game. I just mentioned Squidgy. If you go look at my description of this video, you're going to see a bunch of other YouTubers that I recommend people watch if you enjoy Pokemon videos. This is what got me into playing Pokemon videos and making them myself, is I watched other people do it and I really liked it. And I thought, you know what, I want to do that as well. That's what got me into playing Pokemon videos. JRose11, Scott, those are 2 of the main ones. And then everyone else here is just other people that have channels out as well. Mah-Dry-Bread's probably another one. Squidgy's another one that really has influenced the way I do my playthroughs. Eggsceptional really helped me out personally. He helped me out, like, do the setup and get the overlay to work and things like that. So I really appreciate that. And there's just a bunch of other YouTubers in there as well. There's some that aren't listed, like M&J TV, M&J TV Plays. It's another good one. Smith Plays Pokemon, Speedrunner. You also have the One-to-One. I think I pronounced that correctly. He actually helped me with my Generation 1 videos, Pokemon Blue. You're going to see that on Friday. He has a patch he had, and he showed me, he actually sent me a link for the patch. And now Generation 1 looks like Generation 2, very colorful, very vibrant. It's a much better visual for a playthrough. And now we're going to face Whitney. Whitney is a normal gym leader, and she leads out with a Clefairy. Clefairy gets like a clutch move right here. She gets a Psy Wave, which does a lot of damage. Doesn't usually do a lot of damage, but it has like a range. It's based on the level. And now we're going to go ahead and face Miltank. And Miltank does something here that is really annoying, which is use a track. If you don't know this, a track, if they're opposite gender, Miltank can use a track, and your Pokemon will basically consider not attacking at all every turn. Now, we used the move Mud Slap to lower accuracy, so it can't build up momentum when it comes to using Rollout. Rollout, we're 2 times week 2. So we don't want it to get going, and this is why we use Mud Slap. It lowers accuracy. Hopefully it misses. We do kind of get a clutch hit here. We get very close to getting knocked out. If it hits one more time, we'd have been knocked out. However, we do persevere through. We win, but we only win on 6 hit points. Now, you look at the time here. We're 1 second off 10 minutes. If it wasn't for Infatuation, we'd be well beyond 10 minutes, and that battle wouldn't have taken as long. But we basically, every turn, decided, you know what, we're not going to attack this turn. We're not going to attack this turn. Maybe we'll attack this turn. Nope, maybe not. But it is what it is. We do beat Whitney, and we're going to progress right on. Now we got to get out of this gym, and we got to go to the next area, and we're going to face a thing that looks like a rock. Actually, it is a rock type, but it looks like a tree. I guess that's why it's called the Mimic Pokemon, because it's mimicking a tree, but it's actually rock type, and that is Sudowoodo. This is actually one playthrough I need to do a second round of. I did a first round, and this Pokemon wasn't great. And then I did a what if scenario. What if this Pokemon, I think, had ancient power or something like that from a different game. And we're going to knock out the Sudowoodo, so I recommend you go check it out if you like Sudowoodo. I do need to do a second playthrough eventually. There's a couple of Pokemon I need to do second playthroughs of. I didn't do a second playthrough of Shuckle. I didn't do a second playthrough of Mischievous. I didn't do a second playthrough of Unknown, so on and so forth. But now we're picking up Hidden Power. We went with Hidden Power Ice. It is the best option in this game. It really eliminates Claire as a problem and eliminates Lance as a problem. Moving on to the Komodo Girls. Komodo Girls is where I like to talk about this channel for a couple minutes. The first thing I want to ask is please make sure you like this video. If you like this video, it gets out to more people. It gets the algorithm going. I don't know how the algorithm works, but it enjoys engagement. And when you engage by hitting the like button, that gets out to more people, and I appreciate that. Second thing, if you have a chance, just comment. Ask a question if you have a question. If you're concerned about something, if you have an idea for a video, comment down below. Tell me your favorite Pokemon. Tell me your favorite Pokemon Generation 1, Generation 2, doesn't matter. Just comment. It really helps out the algorithm even more than liking, because it's more engagement. It takes a little bit more effort to type, I guess, than just hit the like button. So that YouTube really thrives off of that kind of engagement. The other way you can help with engagement is by making sure you please watch to the end of the video. If you watch all the way through, it helps out the algorithm as well, because the videos are being watched to completion. That helps out. And the last thing, please make sure you subscribe. Right now we're up to 694 subscribers. I really want to get to 700. And I keep having one of my commenters or subscribers asking for a tutorial video on how I set up videos and everything. I'll do that if I get to 700. That's something I'll do. I'll take a Friday and do that rather than like a normal playthrough. But we beat the Komodo Girls, and now we're progressing right on to our next battle of the game, which is going to be against our rival in Burnt Tower. Now, this was not a fun battle in the last one. We actually got very lucky. So let's see how lucky we get in this battle. Haunter comes out. Do we outspeed the Haunter? We do outspeed the Haunter. So we just need to go for a good move. And unfortunately, we went for Ember. And I don't think that was a good move. Maybe I should go in for Mud Slap. But it cursed us. So now the curse is on the clock. And I think we could be okay if we didn't get cursed. But we get knocked out by the Crocodile. So there's our first reset of the game. That was fun. Let's go ahead and try that again. And if we can just knock out the Haunter and not let him curse us, this will be a lot easier. We miss because Rock Throw has garbage accuracy. And that's fun. And now Crocodile comes out, and we just gotta get Crocodile knocked out. It goes for Rage, which I don't know why it would go for Rage. It does not make any sense to me. I would just spam Water Gun every time this Pokemon came out. Regardless, we still get the knockout, and we move on to Magnemite. It's a one-shot, and now Zubat comes out, and it's a one-shot as well. So I think if we got hit with Curse one more time, we would have been knocked out. However, we do progress right on and face Morty. Morty is the Ghost Gym Leader, Ghost/Poison Gym Leader, and he leads out with a Ghastly. We did add Hidden Power. Hidden Power is going to one-shot the Ghastly. I think it's going to one-shot the Haunter as well. Is it going to one-shot the Haunter? Nope, it does not one-shot the Haunter. Is this the more powerful Haunter? That is the weaker Haunter. Okay. So we're not going to one-shot the Haunter. However, we have Gengar come out, and it puts us to sleep, and we use the Mint Berry, knock it out. Very good. And then the last Haunter comes out. The only thing it can really do, it can't really do anything to us. Nightshade's not going to do that much damage. And we get a very easy win over Morty. And look how much time we're at. We have a 13-minute advantage. Well, 12 minute and some odd second advantage over the previous playthrough. So we are progressing pretty nicely in this playthrough. So we're going to leave here and progress right on to a gym that we are weak to, which is going to be Chucky Boy. Old Chucky Boy. Chuck comes out. He has a Primeape, and he has a Poliwrath. Now, in this original playthrough, we had Slugma in this battle, so we didn't have quite the weakness that we have to Poliwrath. However, we have a much bigger weakness to Poliwrath. The battle we had in the original one was very lucky. it went for Mind Reader and it missed like Hypnosis or something. It was very lucky battle on our part. It's going to one-shot us with Surf. I don't know if it's going to do it every time. I think it will. We're 4 times weak to Surf, and Poliwrath is not a weak Pokemon. It's not like it's a bad Pokemon with Surf. It's a good Pokemon with Surf. And we're going to go for it. We knock out the Primeape. That's the Primeape's not the problem. The problem here is Poliwrath. Now Poliwrath goes for the moves it shouldn't go for. Hypnosis and Mind Reader. There's another gym leader that does stupid things. If Whitney would go for just Stomp, she probably would have beat us every time. And if Chucky Boy would just go for Surf every time, he'd probably beat us. But we still maintain that 13-minute roughly advantage. Actually, we gained on it because we were 12 minutes and some seconds. Now we're over 13-minute advantage on the previous playthrough. So doing pretty well there. We beat old Chucky Boy and move right on to the next gym leader, which is going to be Jasmine. Jasmine is a steel leader, and she leads out with a Magnemite. And this is the easiest gym we deal with. So we have Flamethrower, and Flamethrower will one-shot every single one of her Pokemon. We don't take any damage. Nothing happens in this gym that we don't want to happen. It goes perfectly, and we are still maintaining that advantage. We actually gain a couple more seconds. We're not quite at 14 minutes, but we're very close to 14 minutes, and we're going to progress right on and face Gyarados. Now, Red Gyarados is going to be hulked out. Actually, we're going to face this really powerful Magikarp. Fun fact, Magikarp's stats, he has 1 less speed than Gyarados. Gyarados only gains 1 in speed when he evolves. Pretty weird, huh? So we're going to go for Rock Throw, get a 2-hit knockout on the Gyarados, and progress right on to Price's Gym. Now, Price's Gym is super easy, barely inconvenient. It's not quite as easy as Jasmine's Gym. He does actually have 2 Water-type Pokemon. However, he has no Water moves. So we just have to hit our moves and spam Return or Flamethrower, whichever one. Seal comes out, which is pure Water-type. So we're going for Return on the Seal. It's a one-shot, very good. Dugong is kind of a bulky Pokemon. So whatever we do is not going to one-shot. It's going to 2-shot. Aurora Beam does nothing to us. And Empower Swine is going to be knocked out very easily by Flamethrower. It's a one-shot, very good. Beat Price, beat the Ice Specialist. And now we're going to look at what we're at. We're at a 16-minute advantage compared to the last playthrough. That's pretty good. We're doing very good right now, 16 minutes, a lot of time gained. And now we're going to progress right on to our next rival battle. This is a rival battle in the underground hideout, and we're going to face him, and he's going to come out with a Golbat. Golbat is going to go down to 1 Rocks. Oh, we don't have Rock Slide yet. So we're going to go for Hidden Power Ice, which does the job, gets knocked out in 1 hit. And now we're going to go for Return on the Feraligatr. It looks like it's going to be a 3. Yep, it's going to be a 3-hit. If it went for Water Gun, this battle could get very convoluted. However, Rage does nothing. I don't know why you go for Rage. We're resisted to it. Doesn't make sense. We one-shot the Haunter. Doesn't get a chance to curse us. We're going to go for Flamethrower on the Sneasel. Very good. And the last Pokemon to Magnemite, Flamethrower would do the same thing it did with the Sneasel. It's a one-shot. Very good. We beat our rival pretty handily. And we're going to progress right on and face Claire. Claire is the Dragon Master. This is part of our Rival Claire Rival Sandwich. Yeah. Rival Claire, Rival. Yeah, that's it. Rival Claire. I had it right. Just to make sure I was saying it right. In my head, I thought I said it wrong. Dragonair will go down to 1 Hidden Power Ice. We do not need to never melt ice for this. So we're going to use the Rock Slide, or we're going to use Rock Slide and use the Heartstone to get a little bit more boost out of Kingdra, or against the Kingdra, and we get our 3rd reset of the game. That's fun. Let's go and try this again. Dragonair comes out to one-shot, very good. Hidden Power Ice, like I said, don't need never melt ice. It's just powerful enough to get it done. Rock Slide gets a flinch, which is what we wanted. We're going for Rock Slide again. Get a 2-hit knockout. We got a better range that time. We did Rock Slide on the last attempt where we lost, and it did not get a 2-hit knockout. We got a 3-hit knockout. Might have won if we got the 2-hit knockout on the last one. And we beat Claire, and now we're still maintaining that advantage of about 16 minutes, just around 16 minutes at 1 hour and 5 minutes, 34 seconds. So we beat her, and we're going to progress right on to Victory Road, where we face our final rival battle of the game. Now, our rival battle in this battle he's not very good. He doesn't have a lot of things going for us. By this point, we are such a stacked team. We're stacked with good moves. We have great stats. We're way over level for this battle. So many things work in our advantage here. But Sneasel will go down to 1 Flamethrower. Feraligatr comes out. We'll go for Rock Slide on the Feraligatr. Get the flinch, which is exactly what we wanted. The only downside of the Rock Slides, we do have a low accuracy, but we'll take the wins when we get it. I'm not going to ever complain about winning when it comes to anything. That's something my high school basketball coach always told me. Never apologize for winning, even if you win sloppy. And we knock out the Kadabra, we knock out the Magneton, and we have 1 Pokemon left. We could probably use Flamethrower to knock it out. It's a knockout, very good. We beat our rival, and we're going to progress right on to the Elite Four. Now, I usually cut away, and then that's usually like a video break for me when it comes to doing a voiceover. However, the way it played out, because these are longer videos, because this Pokemon isn't very good, and we're going to go ahead and look at that one more time. Let me just backtrack just for a second, and we'll just look at our stats. We'll go ahead and progress on. It's fine. I'm not going to go ahead and go back. I'm just going to go ahead and look at the side and tell you everything. So our stats as Pokemon are as follows. HP is 158, attacks 113, defense 194, special attacks 149, special defense 133, and speed is 90. We have 4 moves in the Elite Four. We're not going to change these up. Return, Hidden Power, Flamethrower, and Rock Slide. We might change our held items. We do have the Hard Stone. We do have Never Melt Ice if we need it. We also have the Pink Bow if necessary. And we have the Quick Claw, which we don't need to use the Quick Claw in the Elite Four. You'd think we would in some circumstances, but we actually don't. But now we're going to face Will. Will is the Psychic Specialist of the Elite Four, and he leads out with a Xatu. With the Xatu out, we're going to go for a Rock Slide. We get out sped here, so we're going to hit a couple times by Psychic. At this point, I was like, do I just go for a quick reset and save some time, or do I try to ride this out? We're going to try to ride this out. So we get a flinch on the Slowbro, 2 flinches back to back. Seems to be a trend. If you get 1 flinch, the second one comes pretty easy. It's what it feels like. It is what it is. Flamethrower knocks out the Jinx in 1 hit. We have 2 Pokemon left. We have the Exeggutor, which will also go down to 1 Flamethrower. Very good. And the last Pokemon, the higher leveled Xatu, level 42 Xatu. Is it a one-shot? We tank a Psychic and we do one-shot. Very good. Get a very easy win over Will. And that progresses us right on to the next trainer, which is Koga. He's a Poison Specialist of the Elite Four. And he's going to lead out with an Ariados. Ariados, I think we outspeed. We do outspeed here. And Flamethrower is a one-shot on the Ariados. Very good. We have the next Pokemon come out, Fortress. Flamethrower should be a one-shot as well. Goes for Protect, which stalls out a turn. Is what it is. We one-shot. Very good. Muck comes out. We don't have a great move from Muck. We could have added Earthquake, but I didn't think we should remove any of these moves at this point in the game. So we could have had a more effective move there. It is what it is. If we just hit Rock Slide, we're going to knock this Pokemon out. Very good. And at least 1 Pokemon left. And that is Venomoth. They get poisoned, but as long as we hit, we don't really take any poison damage. Very good. We get a very clean win over Koga. I think we had 1 reset to him in the last playthrough. So we'll take it. And now we move right on to Bruno. I hate to say this, but Bruno is actually kind of a problem. Because we do not have great moves against Bruno. We have nothing that's going to easily one-shot. So we got to rely a little bit on Rock Slide and its flinching capacity. We are going to get hit by Dig. We are weak to Dig, so it does a little bit of damage. I mean, Hitmontop's a very weak Pokemon, so it doesn't do that much damage to us. But it's still enough. It's doing some chip damage to us. Flamethrower is a knockout on the Hitmontop. And the Hitmonlee comes out. Flamethrower is not a one-shot. We do get hit by High Jump Kick. And we're pretty much going to lose this battle. We're going to lose this battle. Because Hitmonchan is going to come out. It has Mach Punch. It's priority. So we take a reset there. That's the 4th reset of the game. And let's try this one more time. We do not have enough for a one-shot on the Hitmontop. And I think I'm just starting to remember how I actually had to beat these Pokemon, or beat this trainer. What I need to do is I need to be going for Rock Slide, hoping for a flinch. That way I have more health against Hitmonchan, and I just have the option to actually survive against the Machamp. So we're going to get knocked out again. We're down to 18 health. Now if we hit every turn, we're going to win, and we can get a flinch. We can win here very easily. So that's a thing. But here's the thing. It's when you're relying on these flinch strategies, they don't always work. Yeah, just look at I think was it Sneasel looking for a flinch against Karen? Yeah, we didn't get good luck there, and we're not getting good luck here. We're going to hit again. It is what it is. Luckily, like I said, Hitmontop's not doing that much damage. We do get the 2-hit knockout. That's good. We have more health going into the Hitmonlee. If we get a flinch here, nope, we don't. So we're below half health already. We do get the 2-hit knockout. Hitmonchan has a priority move, so it's always going to go first with Mach Punch. So we do get the one-shot. That's good. We have a decent amount of health going into the last 2 Pokemon. Hidden Power Ice is a one-shot on the Onix. Onix is not a problem in this. Machamp. If we get a Rock Slide flinch on the Machamp. Now he misses, which is great for us. However, we get hit by Cross Chop. Cross Chop is going to one-shot us every stinking time because we are weak to it. And like I said, we need to get a flinch on this first Pokemon here. And we're going to go for Flamethrower. Very good. Hitmonlee comes out, and we're going to go for Rock Slide on Hitmonlee. We miss. Double Kick is awesome. It's great. And we're going to go for Flamethrower, get the knockout. Like I said, Hitmonchan has a priority move, so it's always going to hit us with Mach Punch. It's always going to hit us. And wow. We're doing horrible with this Pokemon. 5 hit points left. Can we win this battle? We can win this battle, but the problem is Machamp. We gotta hope for some flinches on Machamp. So what's Machamp going to do? We're going to go for Rock Slide. Do we get the flinch? We do not. Here we go with our attempt number 8. I think I skipped attempt number 7 because I want to show you the one we actually win. So we're going to go for Rock Slide. Do we get a flinch? We do. And we move the Flamethrower. We do get the knockout. We have full health going into the Hitmonlee. Let's go for Rock Slide again. We get a flinch. We do not. However, Double Kick doesn't do that much to us. We knock it out. 2-hit knockout. Very good. And we have a decent amount of health going into Hitmonchan. Really, the amount of health I have is inconsequential. What really is important is getting a flinch on the Machamp. It's good to have more health because we might be able to tank the Cross Chop. We are very bulky after all. However, We need to get this to flinch. And it identified us, which is, I don't know why I went for foresight. You should just be going for a cross chop. But nonetheless, we get the win over Bruno. He made a bad decision. We capitalized on it. And it leads us right into our next battle against Karen. Now, I think in the last playthrough, Karen was a first try victory. So now we're going to try this again. Rock slide, very good. And we don't get the flinch. We go for flamethrower. We don't get a 2-hit knockout. It doesn't really do much to us when it comes to feint attacks. That's not the problem. But the problem is our actually lowered right now, which means we have the possibility of potentially one-shotting, and we get cursed. That's awesome. If we hit, we're fine. That's the thing. If we hit, we're fine. We one-shot the Murkrow, and Houndoom comes out. Doesn't have a great move for us. So, but if we're cursed and we're not hitting, that's not fun. That's not fun. It's going to knock us out, and we miss 3 in a row. We get our actually lowered 1 time, and we miss a 90% accurate move 3 times in a row. The odds of that happening are just astronomical. However, let's go ahead and do this again. We don't get our actually lowered this time, so that's good. That's great. And we move right on to face the Gengar. We're going to go for Flamethrower on the Gengar. Yep, Flamethrower. It's a one-shot, very good. And pretty much if we just don't screw up or get really bad Rock Slide luck, this battle is a foregone conclusion. We have good ranges on all the Pokemon. I think we're going to one-shot all the Pokemon, actually. And Vileplume is Vileplume one-shot. It is a one-shot, very good. So as long as we don't get Sand Attack, this really is what this battle comes down to, is if you're facing the Umbreon, if you don't get Sand Attack, that's basically going to guarantee you a good chance to win. There's like a 9% chance to win when you do that. And now we're facing Lance, the liar with the flyers, as Squidgy would say. Again, down in the comments if you want to follow him. Rock Slide is a one-shot on the Gyarados. Take no damage. Very good. That's what we want. Aerodactyl comes out next. We go for Rock Slide. We miss. And then he gets a flinch on us. And so now we're at the point where this could go pretty bad. We do get the one-shot eventually on Aerodactyl. We're at a very nice hit points until we leveled up and ruined it. And now we're going to go for Hidden Power on the Dragonite. We get down to 27 hit points. That's not fun because we're very close to being knocked out. However, if we just hit our moves, we're fine. Rock Slide is a one-shot on the Charizard. It's 4 times weak to Rock Slide. Very good. Dragonite, is it enough to get the one-shot? It is enough on the one of them. Is it a range or is it just a foregone conclusion? It's a foregone conclusion. We'll take that every single time. We get the win over Lance. And now we're going to get our time locked in at 1 hour and 21 minutes and 29 seconds. And now let's compare that to the previous run. The previous run, we beat the Elite Four 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 5 seconds. So we have a 15-minute advantage on the original playthrough. But that's just part of the battle. That's just part of it. We have to do a lot more. We had a lot less resets. What level we had? Same exact level. So not all the things are different here. The big difference is, though, we have a lot less resets. We have 5 less resets. And some of them are my stupidity, so to be honest with you. So some player error in there. Probably be a little bit faster. Could I get this done less than an hour and 20 minutes? Absolutely, I think so. Is this a 1 hour run in the Elite Four? No, I don't think this Pokemon can do that in 1 hour. I really don't. However, we are doing some pretty good things here. This Pokemon has a better obvious progression than it had in the previous playthrough. But Kanto really is the crux of this Pokemon. We had a lot of resets against Red and Blue. So let's go ahead and dive into that. We're not going to look at all the gym leaders in Kanto. The only one I think was like kind of maybe a contested battle was Misty, but we ended up beating her on the first try. And I don't want to, really not one I like to showcase. So we're just going to move right on and talk about Blue and Red. I'll see you guys in Kanto. And we're in Kanto. And like I said, we're going to jump right into our battle against Blue. We're not going to worry about the other gym leaders. Now at this point, we're at level 75 because I gave all my rare candies to the Pokemon right before this battle. That was 9 rare candies. And the reason why is we don't have a lot of great things going for us in this battle. And I didn't want to take a bunch of resets trying to win this battle. So the first thing we're going to do is hit Rock Slide on the Pidgeot. Get a one-shot, very good. Second Pokemon comes out, it's going to be Rhydon. We'll go for Earthquake on the Rhydon. Now, Rhydon actually has a huge advantage against us. We were 4 times weak to Earthquake, so it could really do some damage, but it decided to not go for Earthquake. I don't know why it didn't do that. It went for Fury Attack and missed. I don't know why. AI is just kind of dumb sometimes. Rock Slide on the Alakazam is a one-shot, very good. So we got 3 Pokemon down, we got 3 left. Is Rock Slide going to one-shot the Gyarados? It is, very good. And that's 2 Pokemon left. Arcanine comes out. We have Earthquake for Arcanine. And Arcanine doesn't go down to 1. Maybe we should have added the Heartstone. It does switch out and Abra comes out. However, Abra is not a problem. We'll just switch it right back. As long as we don't use Abra in battle, that's what matters. It's not a big deal. It went for Roar is what happened. So it is what it is. And we eventually get the knockout over Arcanine, and now we're going to go ahead and get a Flamethrower on the Executor. I thought maybe I'd have to go for Sunny Day. However, we get the one-hit knockout. Get a first try victory over Blue, which was a problem in our previous video. Like I said, we had a lot of resets. That's why I decided to just give my rare candies. Now, I go and grab this rare candy, and I completely forget to add it to this Pokemon. So yeah, if you don't know, there's a rare candy right here, right before you go to Mount Silver. And we're going to go ahead and teleport back, and now we're going to go right into this battle against Red. And Red is going to be a tough one. And here's the problem with Red. Now, I do want to give a little shout out here to one of my followers. They commented and answered a question I had in the last playthrough. I know Thunder can paralyze. It's a 30% chance. I did not know that the rate of paralysis for Thunderbolt, it's a 10% chance. So I just want to give a shout out to my follower and one of my subscribers that comments on a lot of my videos. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate the knowledge as well. I could have looked that up. I don't like looking that up in the middle of the video. I do have a limited time I get to do voiceover, so I can't just stop. Like right now, we're literally near the end of the video, and I don't want to stop and just go restart everything just to give my voiceover. I think that makes sense. So that's why I'm doing it this way. So right now, we are facing Red. Now, the strategy with Red, if you didn't see my last video, is very simple. Curse. Curse ups our stats. Okay, it ups our attack stat, ups our defense stat, but it does lower our speed. We're already a slow Pokemon, so that's not a big deal. That's why I think Curse is a strategy I think is overused by some other like Poketubers. However, I think it's useful for this Pokemon specifically because it's already slow, so why not just take advantage of your slowness and up your stats? So that's one thing. Rest will replenish our health. And what we need to do with Pikachu, as you're going to see here with Pikachu, is Pikachu, we want to stall out. We want to stall out Pikachu, make him use all of his Thunderbolts and all of his Thunders, and that basically leaves him with Quick Attack and Charm. We don't really want him to use Charm, because every time he uses Charm, it drops our attack stat by 2 stages, and then we have to use Curse and replenish it. Now, what happened right there is Curse only has 10 power points, so we ran out of Curse power points. So now we're going to add the PP up, so Curse is going to have, it only has 12, and now we are going to have 14 power points for Curse, giving us a much better ability. We also had the Leftovers equipped, which Leftovers aren't bad, but in this battle, we don't need Leftovers. We want to be able to go first on in a pinch. This is why Quick Claw is so useful. It's not quite a 25% chance, not quite 20%. It's like 1 in 4.5, roughly, that we get a chance to go first, and that's going to be good for us. So what we want to do is we want to set up. Pikachu is a good one to set up on. He doesn't have anything to one-shot us. He doesn't have a lot of good moves, and we're not resistant or anything, but he also is doing like neutral damage. We can't set up on the Espeon. The Espeon Psychic does way too much damage, and it goes for Reflect. And our goal is to get set up before we face the Espeon so that we can avoid hitting Reflected. And we can't set up on anyone else. There's no point, because after Espeon comes out, the Pokemon comes out next is going to be Blastoise, and Blastoise is going to one-shot us with whatever it has. The only saving grace we kind of have with Blastoise is Blastoise will go for Rain Dance if the sun is out, so that's why we want to set up the sun eventually. And like I said, we want to get fully set up. Right now, in this current battle that we're in, we are set up to +5 on the attack. And we want to go for Curse one more time. So now we are +3 because I went for Charm. I wish this Pokemon did not have Charm. I hate this move with a passion. This setup would have gone so much faster if I didn't have to deal with Charm. If I just dealt with like Quick Attack and Thunderbolt and stuff like that, that would have been not a problem at all. So we're going to go for Rest again. And here's the other problem with this, is this setup takes a while. It really does. You have to stall out Pikachu on all of its electric moves and leaving it to only Quick Attack, and Quick Attack isn't going to do that much damage anyway. So now we're going to go for Return on the Pikachu. Espeon comes out, and this is what we don't want. We don't want Espeon to go first and go for Reflect. And Blastoise comes out. Now we can still win this. Here's why. It's going to go for Rain Dance, which is 1 turn. Now if the Quick Claw activated and we hit Blastoise there and knocked it out, we get the win. However, we don't. So we have to take another reset, and we have to do this again. And I skipped ahead to the final battle. And here's something else that's going to happen. Here's why this is why we have to use Rest consistently. If we get to the Blastoise and Blastoise sees that it's within one-shot capability, it will go for Surf every time. That's why being not at full health isn't necessary, but being at high health, if you have the sun out, if you have Sunny Day on, and he comes out, he's going to go for Rain Dance every time to set up his water moves. That gives us a chance to knock it out. So the Quick Claw can activate and we can one-shot regardless, but it gives us an extra turn. So we got 2 chances for the Quick Claw to activate. Is it mandatory that we Quick Claw on the Espeon? I guess it's not mandatory, but we don't want Reflect up because Reflect sucks. Reflect knocks down our attack stat and makes it so Blastoise can survive. I think it would make it so Snorlax can survive as well. It's not something we want. And Quick Claw actually comes in clutch right here because we are at very low health and we needed to go for Rest. We had Quick Claw activation, and we went first, so we were able to replenish our health while we're still setting up. And Thunder, like I said, we're stalling out Thunder. Thunder has a propensity to miss, too. That is kind of nice. and we're getting set up. As soon as we wake up, we'll get some more set up here. And we got Curse, Thunderbolt paralyzes, not a big deal. Go for Rest, just replenish health. It's working like a charm. There's no pun intended. Please don't go for Charm Pikachu. I hate that move. I hate that move with a burning passion. I didn't hate that move until I started fighting Pikachus, but I don't like that move because if Pikachu didn't have that in this, there's a couple other battle trainer or playthroughs I had as well that it was kind of screwing us up as well. We go for Rest one more time. Very good, and we should be able to go for a Sunny Day as soon as we wake up, and we can progress on and get the knockout, get the win that we need over Red to beat this game. 1 hour and 59 minutes and 48 seconds. Really kind of irks me. We're just on the cusp of being able to get this under 2 hours. If I can just get the strategy to work the first time, it'd be great. Quick Claw activates. We get the knockout on Espeon, so there's no Reflect Up. We can one-shot the Blastoise. Even if it goes for Rain Dance, like it just did right there, we get the one-shot. Quick Claw was not necessary, and now Quick Claw, not even necessary. We can just rest on the Snorlax just to be safe. You never know. Critical hits do skip over any kind of like defense buffs or anything like that, any kind of stat modification, so just never know. We're going to one-shot the Snorlax, very good. And now we should one-shot both the Charizard and the Venusaur. Neither one of them have something that can do a lot of damage to me. One-shot on the Charizard, and Venusaur is the last Pokemon, and we are going to go for Return, and that is also a one-shot. So we get a time locked in at 2 hours and 35 seconds. Do you realize how agitating this was to have a playthrough where we were 35 seconds away from getting this under 2 hours? That was my goal. Let's get this under 2 hours. Is it a big deal? Not really. I mean, in the future, I guess I could play through this Pokemon again and improve upon this time. I really could. However, it just grinds my gears that 35 seconds. There's so many things in the game that could be the difference between, you know, a 2 hour run, over 2 hour run, and a sub 2 hour run. Just little things that I could clean up. It just frustrates me. However, let's move on and look at our tier list. This is what a tier list looked like before we did this playthrough. Magcargo is sitting down near the bottom of the tier between Shuckle and Sudowoodo, two very bad Pokemon. Is Magcargo really a bad Pokemon? I think it just has some bad things going for it. I don't think it's horrible. I think its stats are okay other than its speed. Let's go and look at where it lands after this playthrough, which is right behind Fortress. Fortress beat this game at 2 hours and 1 second. We are 34 seconds behind Fortress. Do I think Magcargo is a better Pokemon than Fortress? Yes. If I played through again, I'm pretty sure I can get Fortress under 2 hours as well, so I don't want to sit there and say I couldn't do that with Fortress. I can definitely save a second of time, or 2 seconds, I should say, and I can definitely save about a minute of time for Magcargo. Do I think Magcargo can beat Yanmega? Yanmega's time was just under 2 hours. It was 1 hour and 55 minutes and 54 seconds. Do I think we can do that with Magcargo? Maybe. I feel like it was a better Pokemon, but it is more recent. That might just be some recency bias. And Sunflora, 1 hour and 14 minutes and 3 seconds. I feel like Slugma was also a better Pokemon, but I also think it's a little bit of bias because I do like Fire-type Pokemon. It's like my favorite type in all of Pokemon. So this Pokemon does land still, and it's still in the Ditto tier, which means over 2 hours. Do I think it'll be in there forever? No. Some of these Pokemon are going to get playthroughs. I don't know if I'm doing it anytime soon. I at least want to get through the new 100 Pokemon that are in Generation 2 before I start with the beginning of the Pokédex and start playing through start with Venusaur and play all through the original 151 in this game. But I do want to revisit some playthroughs. I want to revisit a bunch of there's a bunch of Pokemon I think would actually do way better since I've played and got better strategies. But I do want in the future to play through again with Fortress and Magcargo to get a better time. The next video is coming out on this channel. We have a video coming out on Friday, Mr. Mime. Like I said, with a little bit of help from another YouTuber, I actually got a patch that makes Pokemon Blue look like Pokemon Crystal. It's very clear, very good. I wouldn't say great graphics. It's not like like a modern video game, but it is more colorful, more vibrant, and looks better than the original black and white Pokemon Blue game I use. So I just want you guys to know that that's coming out on Friday. Mr. Mime is actually one of my favorite Pokemon to use in Generation 1. I don't like using Pokemon that can't fully evolve. Kadabra was not appealing to me, so I always use Mr. Mime. I always just trade the Abra. Not to mention, Mr. Mime becomes one of your best Pokemon because when you trade it, you get that double XP. And then we have another video that I don't have a thumbnail for, but next Wednesday we have a playthrough with Swinub. Swinub will evolve into Piloswine. This is going to be a rough playthrough. This Pokemon's not very good. Just like this Pokemon, we have a slew of Pokemon aren't very good. I want to make sure that's clear. However, I'm very excited about these playthroughs. I'm very excited about what's coming up next on this channel. A lot of challenging Pokemon. And we are, we're very close to wrapping up the challenges of Generation 1 Pokemon Blue, and then we don't have much else to do in Pokemon Blue. I was thinking about doing like a second stage challenge where the second stage in any 3 evolution, who's the best. I think we can eliminate, Metapod and Kakuna. But there's other Pokemon out there that could do well. How well does Charmeleon do? Kadabra is obviously a contender. So how would that do? I think about doing that challenge. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And as usual, like, share, subscribe. If you made it to the end, you're awesome. This means the world to me when people watch my videos to the end. We're very close to 700 subscribers, so if you haven't already, please subscribe. About 70% of my people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so make sure you check that out. Make sure you do that. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on Friday.